So a lot of times you hear people make this claim that, oh, a lot of times what people are criticizing in other people are actually projecting on themselves. And I definitely think that's true when it comes to a lot of the establishment elite type people and their claims of everyone being racist and bigoted. It seems to me like for a very long time that these people kind of have this seething dislike of people in flyover country, basically rural areas, rural white people in particular. And they think that they're scummy, they think that they're terrible people that are dumb, and I think that's a lot of what their perception is. And it's carefully hidden under a veneer, but sometimes you can start to see cracks in that veneer, like when we saw Hillary Clinton talk about deplorables that were Trump voters, and when we saw Peter Strzok, the FBI agent, saying he could smell Trump supporters in Walmart and things like that. So every once in a while you can see on places like the mainstream media where that veneer cracks and you start to see some of this bigotry come through. Here we have a so-called Republican strategist named Rick Wilson, who's really just an anti-Trumper that people like CNN like to come on so they could say, oh, see, Republicans don't like Trump either. And he's going to say some of the vilest, bigoted things you could think about Trump supporters, calling them racist, making fun of their teeth, calling them 10-tooth because that's like a racial stereotype of rednecks, like they're all missing teeth. And it's really terrible. So it's not just what he's saying, though. It's what CNN, the panel's reaction to it is that I find most interesting. So let's start and hear the guy's comments to begin with.
So is she right, Rick, about the president's motives here? This wall is just to keep his base's attention off everything else?
Don, the wall has always been a con for Donald Trump's credulous, rube, 10-tooth base. The wall has always been a scam.
So see how he says, he wants to insult them as stupid, they're 10-tooth. Only a moron would believe in the wall. That's not, it's one thing if you want to make fun of Trump and call him a racist or say that he's 10-tooth, make fun of his appearance. But once you start making fun of a group of supporters, that's an entirely different ballgame. You wouldn't, I'm not saying, and it happens often, we see this, you don't really see it the other way as much. I don't see a lot of Republican people in the media or Republican politicians coming out and saying all Democrat supporters and start making racial stereotypes about them. In fact, I think the media would go absolutely nuts if that happened. But let's leave this gentleman finish.
It has always been a lie. Nothing about the wall has ever been real, and Donald Trump knows it. He is a guy who has a long history in his career as being a con man. He is conning these people who believe he's going to build a 2,000-mile, 30-foot-high concrete wall with laser moats and alligators in it.
See, no one's suggesting that. He knows that's a straw man. If you were an objective journalist, you'd be like, no. That's not what they're suggesting. No one's suggesting laser moats with alligators. It's clearly hyperbole. People are suggesting a wall, and you might disagree with it, but that's not a reason to make it sound like anyone who would agree with it's an idiot or toothless or something like that.
Just crazy, it always has been. And yet they suspend their disbelief because they believe so strongly in Donald Trump. And this is, like I said, it's always been a con. It's always been a scam. It's an insult to their intelligence, but obviously it seems to work with his base because they believe it over and over again that nothing will stop the brown horde except the wall.
And there you have it. If you're a Trump supporter, you're a racist. If you support the wall, it's because you're a racist. You're afraid of brown people. You think they're a horde and they're coming to get you. Absolutely ridiculous. And you can see that this is the tool of someone who is a bigoted racist that would accuse others of bigoted racism. He's sitting there, he just uses racial stereotypes saying that they're 10-toothed, how stupid they are and things like that. The 10-tooth thing, obviously a reference to how all these people in flyover country, you're a Trump supporter, you must be a toothless redneck. It's okay. That racial stereotype's okay for him. And then he goes on to accuse those people of the very thing he's doing of racism. Now, as bad as that is, this guy's obviously totally, who cares? He's one person, right? Well, he's one person that's been giving a platform. But the important thing to me is you expect Don Lemmon, who claims to be an objective journalist, and the rest of the people on the panel. The third person from the left, I forget her name, but she's actually a member of the White House press poll. So she's a journalist. She's not a pundit. You would expect him to be like, whoa. You just called everyone who supports this policy of a wall, or everyone who supports Donald Trump, as 10-tooth, as racist, as stupid. That's a bridge too far. That's what you would expect objective people to say. So surely they'll be outraged by this, and they'll say, look, that type of behavior is not appropriate on CNN. You shouldn't be insulting entire swaths of people like that. Let's see what they have to say.
Yeah, well, and the whole Game of Thrones thing, the wall didn't work in Game of Thrones. Shouldn't he know that?
Walls
with
don't.
the impaling spikes. With the impaling spikes.
It's interesting because it's gone from a big concrete wall that Mexico was supposed to pay for with a big beautiful door in it, to, I guess, fencing, to slats, to spikes on top, to whatever you want to call it, and the supporters will say, okay,
it's going to end with the.
Go
Don,
on.
it's going to end with being the freedom ditch.
All right.
Now, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. If a Republican strategist that came on during the Obama years and was like, I want to talk about Obama supporters, and starts making racial stereotypes because he had a lot of African-American support, and started to make racial stereotypes that are insulting to black people. You think Don Lemmon's yucking it up right now? You think all three of these panel are yucking it up? Of course not. Do you think the mainstream media would find that acceptable if they did yuck it up? Of course not. They would be appalled. Imagine that this occurred on Fox News during the Obama years. Someone comes on, Tucker Carlson or Hannity or on the 5 or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, all Obama supporters, and start just, boom, blaring out stereotypes about African Americans. They're all stupid African American. They're just scared of whitey, and, they're all toothless, or, whatever stereotype that you would make. Like, and we know that, I'm not going to sit here and make African-American stereotypes, but we know that they exist, just like it is a racial stereotype to say rednecks are toothless, that these poor white people are toothless. We know that that's a bigoted stereotype as well. You think, and then all of a sudden the Fox panel starts laughing it up. What do you think the rest of the networks would say? What do you think the mainstream media would say? They would be on it all over. Oh my God, look at how racist Fox News is. Can you believe they attacked an entire group of people based merely on who they vote for? That is some of the scummiest bigotry, racism. How could Fox allow this to happen? Fox would be scrambling. We're sorry. Advertisers would be leaving left and right. Please don't leave us. We're sorry. We'll discipline these people. But not CNN. Not these people. Not this lady who's in the White House press poll. It's all laughs. Yeah, those toothless Trump supporters. They're all a bunch of dumb racists. Now, meanwhile, where's the mainstream media? Is anyone going to run a story on how this is outrageous? Oh, no, that's right. They're too busy being upset and clutching their pearls because a couple of anonymous online people had a problem with Ocasio-Cortez's dance video. Oh, that's terrible. Can you believe this? And they're spinning that as Republicans making fun of her video. Oh, what's wrong with these Republicans? Are they bigoted? They're focusing on something so stupid. How terrible of Republicans. So let's just clarify this to the mainstream media. If a couple of anonymous online people criticize a Democrat dancing, then that shows that somehow Republicans as a whole are doing that and they're bad people, terrible, or bigoted, or something like that. But if actual named people come on a mainstream media network, make bigoted, racist claims about all of Trump's supporters, not just Trump himself, but the actual entire group of supporters, and that panel laughs about it and thinks it's it's a good joke, don't bother to criticize that whatsoever, mainstream media has no problem with that. So that's the standards we have now. To criticize for an anonymous person to criticize a politician shows that the entire group of Republicans are terrible for that. But for an entire network to laugh about racist jokes being told about all of Trump supporters, that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Again, it just goes to the reason that a lot of people in the mainstream media won't have a problem with that is because I think that many of them feel that way. They don't like flyover country. It's one of the reasons you can see them barely contain their glee when they're talking about illegal immigrants. My stance is illegal immigrants are probably about as good as people as citizens and legal citizens are legal people in the United States. As a whole, that's how I feel. But you can't wait. They can't wait to be like, no, illegals are so much better. They'll do jobs Americans won't, and they commit less crime, and they're just great people. Because they secretly hate, they absolutely despise. You could see it come through. They don't like Trump supporters. They don't like people that live in flyover country. They treat them with disdain. They're plebes to be pushed aside. They can't wait. They hope that demographics change and those people finally get what's coming to them. They're all a bunch of scumbag, toothless racists. That's how a lot of these people feel. And so they have to hide it because they know that that's a bigoted opinion themselves, and it's not that they'll get in trouble, or not even that they'll get in trouble, but that these people will be like, whoa, wait a minute. If you're a Trump supporter, you're like, wait, what? So they have to pretend, oh, no. But you see the veneer crack, you see. Now, I'm sure, maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll get a statement from Don Lemmon today like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have said something about that. But you see who they really are in the moment. You see what it is, this bigoted claims made, and they all laugh it up. Don Lemmon, Mr. Objective from CNN, one of their highest paid people. I should have got the woman on the third woman, or the third from the left, that lady's name. But White House press pool worker, a journalist, laughing it up. It's absolutely terrible. It just goes to show. Now, and the last thing is, do you think this is an effective strategy? If you're someone who supports Trump and maybe you're on the fence because there's some things you don't like, you going to vote for these people? You're going to vote for who they want you to vote for? You're just a toothless scumbag racist, right? But vote Democrat. Once you vote Democrat, then all of a sudden, you know, who cares about your teeth now? You're a good person now. But remember, you're terrible. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're disgusting. The only way you could reprieve yourself is by giving these people power, admitting that you're a scumbag, racist, toothless person, saying, please forgive me. Let me vote for the people you want. That's what these people think. So, hey, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and recommend me to other people if you would. I'll be putting more videos out daily, so thanks a lot, and everyone, have a good one.